Happening? What's happening? Going on with the microphone. I don't know about y'all. It's warm. Just came outside from doing a little bit of yard work. Almost 90 degrees on the Weather XM. Feels like 89. Humidity 89. It's rough. With 2-mile-an-hour wind. It's rough. We even had some rain earlier. First rain I've had at my house in almost 3 weeks. So a little warm. How y'all doing? How's everybody else doing? I figured in lieu of the good news, we'd keep the Wingbits stuff up. Y'all know I'm excited over that. Trying to see what Bitcoin is doing. I haven't really been paying attention to it. Saw somebody said on X earlier, there was some kind of number that we had to hold. And if we don't hold that number, they thought it was going to go into the high 90s. Who knows? Buying opportunity. It goes up, it goes down. I know people are panicking, but this ain't your first time. This ain't your first rodeo. Because until this one starts going up while Bitcoin's down, we're not seeing an alt season. At least not a traditional one. Solana's kind of at a tipping point. This is just a downright joke at this point. You know, they got certain people on Twitter that they push in helium. I don't know if they're trying to get people to buy. You know, one guy said how he's still buying stations because he believes in like, dude, are you serious? Like, what's a station go for right now? Like, I don't even know if you could even buy regular IoT stations anymore. Can you still buy helium IoT stations? Apparently not. Everything's helium mobile now. So people buying helium stations on eBay for $120, and it's going to literally take them 600 days, 500 something days. Last time I did the math, you know, but my point I'm getting at is you had people who swore that helium was coming back. They did this big buy for, what was it, like 2-point-something million because some whale was selling. Apparently he was the smart one, but he was selling, and now he got all his H&T sold for $1 million, $2 million or something. Sounds like he made off pretty good. And since then, it's still been steady dropping. I don't know. This one too, XRP. Everybody thought this was going to be to the moon. All this news was coming, and I still say, just so people don't get mad at me, if you're going to buy XRP, right now's the time. Not financial advice. I mean, I'm not increasing really my bags because I bought in at 60, 70, 80 cents, somewhere around there. Don't quote me on it. I have a small bag of XRP, but that's where I bought it. It would make really no sense for me to buy it more now. Because normally this is above $3. So if you bought some now, I ain't saying you're gonna double your money but if you want to believe half these stories that people are talking about with it going to $5.18 or going to $10 or $100, that's them saying it. Definitely not me saying it. Under $3 is a good place to buy. Everything's red. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Let me tell you something that snuck up on me, because I hold some BNB, and I hold some BNB because something I exchanged years ago when BNB was under $100. I hold like 2 BNB again, because it was back then, it was like 40, $50 or something like that. And I just left it in my Exodus wallet. And then for a while it was on the BNB, then you had to exchange it to BSC or something. And then I went and was cleaning up my wallet, and I realized I hold almost 2 BNB. And it's something I've never messed with, something I've never bought other than the first time I got some from somewhere. Like I said, I've never purchased it. It was something that it got swapped. I told you before, I was in this mining program years ago where you could hook up a ASIC miner and you could basically mine any token you want. It was taking the hash and doing whatever it wanted to do with it, and it would pay you basically in any token you wanted. And at one point it was like you could get XRP from it, or Cardano from it, or BNB. I'm thinking that's where I must have got it. I don't know if it was a nice hash. prohashing dot something.com.net. But basically you can take anything that will hash back then. I don't know what it does now, but I took some old ASICs that couldn't do Bitcoin really anymore, couldn't do Litecoin anymore, couldn't do something else anymore, Zcash or something, put it on pro hashing. And that's how I got a bag of XRP, a bag of BNB and stuff like that. And last I checked, this was like $200 something. This went up to $1,000. That's crazy. So in October of 23, it was down to $200, $500 last year. And look at it. It's just had a big push. Everybody thought BNB was dead. Binance chain was dead, all this stuff. And everybody's talking about Solana and AVAX and Ethereum. And here's BNB just silently cutting through here like it ain't nothing. It's crazy. Kyle, hit me up on Discord. I might have something for you. I mean, I'm hosting another one for somebody else, so I might have another tall pole to put one on. Yeah, hit me up on it. Well, I'll take a look for you and see what it looks like. But I was just quite surprised if any of y'all are messing with BNB, or y'all mess with BNB in the past. My Exodus wallet, I've told y'all the story before. My Exodus wallet during the last bear market went down over 90%, and it's disgusting and sick to watch. And it's starting to look somewhat healthy again. You know, the GeoNet that I'm putting in it every day helps. Stuff like BNB going up, Solana going back up. You know, I'm not gonna show y'all my Exodus wallet, but it doesn't hurt as bad when you look at it. It still hurts. But I'm telling y'all again, to make sure that everybody knows this, in case somebody's watching this that hasn't watched it before, has not watched this before, that y'all know I'm selling tokens when I'm ready to sell tokens. I still think, I was looking at my sword chain today. I got another 550 sword chain tokens that I staked away. And I still think come December 1st, I'm either going to start pulling some of those back because it's a 3-month unstaking period, or I'm just going to collect those sword chain every day. And come at the end of the year, I'm hoping we're in the alt season and I'm selling that. I want to sell my demo. But I told y'all before, like, you know, I hate to say I told y'all so. I know I'm rehashing some of the stuff in my video last night, but I also know some of y'all skip around my Monday videos. It's so funny that I asked for people to tell me if they watched the whole video, and I upload the video, and literally like 20 minutes later, I have somebody that's like, I watched it to the end. I'm like, dude, the video is an hour long. Even on 2X, you didn't watch it from the beginning to the end. You might have watched the beginning and then watched the end and said, I watched it to the end. But I told y'all what was going to happen with this. I called this. I told y'all, like, if y'all could get out of this, I know some of y'all, basically, I still say, I know I need my aluminum foil hat. I know I'm rehashing this again like I do every week. I apologize, but I just have to say it. This is, to me, exactly how they planned it. They got to this point right here and said, oh, hell, people are not buying subscriptions. We're about to lose a whole bunch of data coming in. Let's take all of our money, our party money and Lambo money and stuff, and let's throw it into the liquidity or something, and let's boost this price up. They boosted this price up to 12 cents. Everybody started coming back. All kinds of people admittingly came back, and then they took liquidity out. People sold, something happened, and now they're back down to this. Now, subscriptions are monthly, so part of me says that might not be it just because then people just aren't going to renew again. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all tell me what you think caused this. I know that Demo announced that they're going to have third parties start buying some of this data from us. I've never been contacted by a third party, even though I signed up for it. I don't know if y'all have or anything like that. So 619 staked this for years. He didn't follow Grumpy's rules. Grumpy staked his for whatever the least amount of time was. I'm thinking it had to be 6 months maybe, because it doesn't come unstaked until the end of the year. But I'm hoping by the end of the year, it's back up. You know, we have a bull market with alt season. We're back up to 12 cents or 11 cents. I'm out. Like at the casino, dog. I'm out. I'll still keep my demo running. I don't need to buy a subscription for another 16 months or 15 months. I had 18 months left in June or July when all this started. 18 months. So that was 2 months ago. You know, college math failed me. But so I'll keep them rolling. I have them on 5 vehicles. But, you know, it is what it is. But you can get an IoT device for $50. You know, I looked on eBay, and the ones I kind of saw for $50. First of all, I'm gonna tell you, somebody gave me a what was it? Somebody gave me one of them, and while I appreciate it, it would never onboard. Trying to think what it is. It's been a long day, guys. Y'all know I can't think on the spot. That's why I like when I do videos. I can pause it and think about what the hell. I'm Googling helium IoT miners. So it wasn't a sense cap. It was a the other white one. Come on, man. I'm gonna see it and be like, you're an idiot. I can't believe I can't remember. But I could not get it to. It's the one that Vosk. It wasn't a Bobcat. It was the one that Vosk was supposed to get all those green ones, and they all got screwed over on them and stuff like that. You'll probably answer. I'm not even looking, but why is it not on here? Synchробit. Thank you, 619. Appreciate it. Yep, Synchробit. So I got a Synchробit free from somebody, still sealed in the original box, never opened. When you look on the Explorer, never opened, and it will not onboard. I have gotten 2 or 3 from people in the last 6 or 8 months to replace some of the ones I have. Because some of them I do have still IoT devices running on them, and different or demos running on them, and So I have to keep them running. Some people gave them to me. I appreciate it. Some people, one guy bought it on eBay for 25 bucks. I told him I'll give you 25 bucks. If I get it on board and it works fine, I'll give you another 20 bucks in helium at the time. He jumped at it. I onboarded that with no problem. That was all sense caps. But that synchro bit, I burned it. I put the new Nebra stuff on it. I tried putting third party on it. It will not, even on the black helium app, like I did all the other ones, it will not onboard. So you have to kind of watch what you're buying online. I still need another one to replace at my buddy's tower because that one was tall enough that it could hit all my other 10 or 12 miners in the area because it was 400 feet high. But I'm also not buying like one for stupid. Some of them, I mean, you could buy, you just use the pie out of it. So yeah, that's what 619 says. He had two that would never, swap to him or whatever. That's the other word too. Is, that's why I would only do eBay and I would only do PayPal or something like that, and make sure that we have in writing that he's going to transfer it to me upon arrival, because you've heard them horror stories in the past. So make sure y'all hit the like button before we start digging any further. So I'm sure everybody has saw the news about Wingbits. Congratulations to Wingbits. I love it just because I'm an a-hole. Y'all know that, or I'm grumpy, whatever y'all want to call it. And I can just remember seeing, and I don't want to call them out because I rise above that, but I can remember seeing certain people's lives, and I'm in their live, and they're like, "Hey, Grumpy, what's going on with that?" And then they start just blasting Wingbits and talking about how, I got out of that and I'm not dealing with it because, they just want to sell devices, and all that data is free already from all these other companies. Ain't nobody going to buy that data from Wingbits and all that stuff like that. And, there you go. It's, now we know. Now we can just rub it in those people's faces that, and the best part is this is from, because let me tell you, I had somebody, I was going to take the high ground on this one, but I'm not, because y'all know my history with it. And some of y'all know the history also. But I actually had somebody from the former D-scam days who said, "Oh, well, DFly used to put articles out too saying he had a Walmart contract." But this isn't from Medium, and this isn't from or from Wingbits putting it out. So I don't want to hear that. We have already passed that measuring stick. I don't know why, the fact that Wingbits actually sent out stuff, whether it was the geosigners or whatever else, dude, we have passed that measuring stick. You can't even come close to pairing up. Like, please go away. Don't bother me again. I'm sorry you picked the wrong team. But this is awesome. This, like, just because I get to rub it in people's faces that all y'all people, there was several people who said Wingbits. I know y'all said this on my video last night, but I'm just going to rehash it again because I think this is awesome news. This legitimizes a lot of the work that we have all been doing for Wingbits. This is awesome. I congratulate the team for this, Robin and all them, but even like the guys who didn't have a hand in this that are still just, I call it at home running the back end, Axes and Max and all these guys, the guys I don't know. I hate to leave everybody out, but it was a team thing, because while Robin's out there shaking hands and kissing babies and doing that kind of stuff like that with people, it is the Axes and Max and the other guys that are behind the scenes running this, that's keeping it going, that's keeping us, and we're bothering the hell out of them. And they're keeping the project going while Robin's doing all the talking. So it's awesome. And congratulations to those guys for this big step. Now, y'all know me, I got questions all the time. We knew that they already had, and Robin had admitted in different AMAs that they already had contracts signed. So is this just but we knew some of them contracts were secondary data, meaning they already had contracts with some of those other providers, even though the idiots on live would say that was free. Well, it's not free. Those other companies, ADSB Exchange, FlightAware, they sold that data to these companies. They were already in contract with them. So they're buying Wingbit stuff as a secondary. We heard, I don't want to go rehash the whole video again, but I talked about it in my AMA video, how they said this is more secure data, encrypted data, and we're providing way more than what those other classes are. We even talked about how, you know, people say there's no market for it, but yet one of those companies got recently bought out and had a $50 million valuation. So we know that. Let me see. 619, they had mentioned that they were bigger hexes, but you had to sign up immediately. So, you know, actually sent me that article. He sent me this one also to share that Flight Radar sells 35% stake. So they only sold a 35% stake for $500 million. What did I say earlier? 5 million or 50 million or $500 million. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So Flight Radar is a Swedish flight company. Also very interesting. That's very interesting. I did not realize that. So this was September 10th, Flight Radar, Swedish flight tracking company, sold 35% stake to Sprint Capitals and deal value in the company at $500 million. The transaction might come. So again, anybody who thinks that there's no market for this, you know, this might be our first, you know, I don't know if I want to say that or not, but first really legit, maybe one in a handful. How about that? Of true legit DEPIN projects. Because, you know, there's a lot of static online you're reading right now. And I've been talking about this. A lot of static about people saying how DEPIN projects ain't legit. All DEPIN projects, all they worried about is selling their own products and all this stuff like that and making money off of that. And it ain't, you know, it ain't one or two people. There's a lot of it. That seems to be the traction that's gaining traction right now on X and these other videos and stuff. And you have, I just don't agree on that, GeoNet. Now, I can't argue whether or not the GeoNet device itself was really worth $700. One video broke it down and said the most it could be possibly worth is 100 something, but yet they're putting it together. They're R&D in it. They're putting the software on it. They have to test it, make sure it works. They have to put them all together. They have to ship them out, do distribution. So I ain't saying it's worth $700, but you know, it is what it is. They're not doing it for free. So I would say, you know, GeoNet is definitely a legit company. If y'all know one or two more that's legit with working customers, let me know. But this Wingbits could be, you know, definitely another example of a true layer 3 company with a legitimate project, whatever you want to call it, business. True layer 3. That's, you know, again, I say layer 3 because everybody knows the layer 2s because that's where all the doubt came in. Remember when Helium kept saying IT is $1 billion industry, but they only bring in like $100 a day. I don't think I'm bringing in $1 a day worth of helium. 10 times, maybe $1. But anyway, but this is awesome news. This is just awesome news. And I would not be surprised if you start seeing more news. Because again, the contracts like this is what's needed to get us to a TGE mainnet. Now, I know we all have arguments on whether or not we need a CEX. You know, from what I understand, the CEXs that Wingbits have been talking to, you know, Robin mentioned that to us. That's nothing, you know, nothing private or anything like that. I'm gonna tell you, I don't get anything inside private. Nothing from them. Sometimes just ask them for like a little clarification. and they'll clarify it for me a little bit. Or when some of y'all have questions, they'll clarify it for me a little bit. But, you know, Robin did mention how some of these CEXs want contracts. They want tokens in addition to some of the other things they want, and money. And it just wouldn't be financially responsible if Wingbits gave away the bank just to get CEX listed. And I can understand that. Somebody like me who wants CEXs, because I still believe to get the most people possible to buy this token, it's going to happen on CEXs with the volume. You know, you look at Rover. Rover was on a DEX before. It comes to CEX, even though it's the Dollar General version. Kudos to the person who sent the Dollar General video today to me in my Discord. I've seen it before, but I think it is hilarious because they truly are. You go by my hunting lease, and there is nothing but a gas station for breakfast and lunch, and then literally 100 yards from it is a big old Dollar General, and then it's just woods. Some people can walk out there hunting. They're hunting blind, deer blind, go get a drink at Dollar General and go back into the woods. But anyway, you know, MEXC, that to me is the Dollar General degen of CEXs. And you look at the volume they already got in just a couple of hours yesterday, and it was crazy. So it does bring in more people, despite, I know people are going to argue with me. I don't even want to look at the chat on my other screen. I know people are going to argue with me over it. But investors have their accounts set up on CEXs. I've read this before, because they can have all these different, they're not messing with DEXs, but your crypto people are messing with DEXs. If I want to buy a crazy Solana token, I'm going to Jupiter or one of these other ones and putting the contract address in there, and that's where I'm buying it from. But Milkman, I 2000% agree with you. Is Tech Hustle did that video that I gave all y'all homework to go watch it. I hope all y'all took time to watch it, because I know how some of y'all feel about him. I like the dude. I know some of y'all like him. Y'all say y'all like him. Some people don't. You know, he rubbed some people the wrong way. Some of his clickbait titles and him going smash some of his devices, then you find out they didn't work. That's why he smashed them. You know, whatever. It was cool videos. You can say, sometimes you got to do stuff to get people's attention. But what I will say is that he did say you have to be in this for the tech. And I've did videos on it, and I've said this like a broken record. The days of helium and being early and making $5,000 in 17 days is over with. It is downright, you're not going to find another project like that. And even if you find a meme coin like that, chances are there's not enough liquidity for you to get out if you are early enough to have that kind of money. There's no liquidity for you to get out. You know, so you do the best you can, but you're right. People, you know, we have people who I don't know if it was on here or on my Discord or somewhere, where people said they plan on selling as soon as they get tokens. And I still will argue, and I know I'm grumpy. Y'all come here for the grumpiness, and I'm going to lay it out for you right here. The same people who want to complain about the price of the token dropping so bad after TGE is the same person that while he's on this screen typing it, I can't believe the token is going down. Can't believe the token's going down right after TGE. He's got this hand on this screen going sell, 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 sell. Tell me I'm wrong. I gotta hurry up and sell, because if I don't hurry up and sell, I'm gonna sell down here. I can't believe the token's dropping this much. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. And that's for you as an adult to try to make that decision. Which one do you think is best for you? I've told y'all all my projects I'm in, all of them, other than selling $100 worth of grass. I had $1,000 worth of grass last hunting season. I don't want to lie to nobody. I have never sold a token from any of these projects. When you look at these projects that I'm in on Mondays, other than helium, of course, I've never sold any of them projects. Some people might call me an idiot. Demo, I'm telling you right now, I would have sold when it doubled in price. It was all staked away. Silencio, all staked away when I had that increase in price. But I don't know. I've told y'all I don't want to go put my disclaimer back up, but I've had several people ask, man, you have so much, so much Wingbits. What do you plan on doing with it? I'm hoping to stake most of it, especially if it has some really good rates and it ain't got some kind of 6 months or 1 year staking, and I can get it out if I want it. I plan on staking it. I don't need all that money right now. I mean, don't be wrong. Don't let my wife hear that say that. She's already got spent 7 ways in her head. When's that project going and start paying out? Yeah, next week, baby. Next week. Don't worry about it. Next week. All right, don't forget your son's got this thing coming over college. Yep, next week. Next week. But I truly think you get more of these contracts, that price is going to go up. People who sold grass. I know people who sold grass in the chat I was in. People sold grass as soon as they got it and flipped it to entropy. And they kicked themselves in the ass. Because when grass first got released, it was like 40 cents, 50 cents, maybe 60, and it goes up to $4. So, but again, you're right. I mean, you look at some of these other ones, Sword Chain and Silencio have been a free fall since it got TGE, but that's why they're trying to do it the right way. 619 says sold some hard mapper to buy new cameras. Look, it only took you what, a year and a half to get those in? And have you ROI'd on those cameras? That's the question. That's the question. Because I'm telling you, I've told y'all before, depending on how all this looks, if I do go and sell some of my Wingbits, it might be if I can get another host location somewhere that's in a really, really good area in the United States. I might just take my Wingbits, buy the WB200, and ship it to that person. And that might be, I might sell some wings for that. Because that's just me reinvesting in it, Part of me wonders, when this thing goes mainnet, and depending on what we're making, you might have another influx of people buying stations that realize, people love the FOMO in late. We all here early. I keep telling y'all over and over. I know some of y'all are itching, including me, that itching to go to mainnet. But 20% rewards bonus every day while we're still in this testnet deal. So, I trust me, I'd like to start seeing some return. Got 15 stations out there. 14 outdoor boxes. Some have pies in them from old heliums. A lot of them are little potatoes or sweet potatoes that were still $35 each, plus the case, plus the power supply. You're looking at $50 right there now total, plus about $50 with shipping and tax for the antennas, plus the feed line times 14. And so that's not included the antennas I bought in the beginning when I was testing them back and forth. When y'all wanted me to do antenna testing, some of that was with the D-Scan project. But when I tested, a 5 dBi versus a 3 dBi versus a 12 dBi and a 5 dBi Amazon one, like I suggest, versus the 5 dBi from another brand name versus another 5 dBi from another name. Hey, I took that on by myself, but still, I'd like to start seeing a little return. I'd like to get a little bit back, just a little cheddar back to kind of fill that hole in a little bit. But it's also the ego thing. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's also the ego thing. Because you had people who say that this project was not going to work. And I could say, kiss my fat white toe. What else is going on? Any other projects that we need to discuss? Looking at the change log for Wingbits. You know, I did see this, that on the map, how many of y'all had looked at the Wingbits map and started seeing UAVs on it? Because I saw a UAV on it, but where it was in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. So unless there was a flatboat out there, P-Rog as we call it, you know, down in Louisiana, there was some little boat out there or something. You know, my station, or two of my stations cover majority of the Gulf. There was some UAVs out there in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. I thought that was kind of weird. You know, unless there was a balloon that was showing up as a UAV or something. But yeah, in case any of y'all missed the AMA from Wingbits, it is now uploaded. So y'all can, after y'all done with mine, of course, y'all can go look at that. You know, I'm curious to know, I meant to ask that to Axie. I asked Axie earlier PM if y'all saw that. I've been asking them about, I filled out a form for my WB 200. I didn't read the whole thing. You know, it was on me. But after I filled out the form for my WB 200 insert, I didn't get anything back. I didn't get like a, thank you for filling out this form. Screw you, this don't apply. We're airmailing this tomorrow. I didn't get nothing. I have not gotten the email or anything. But like he says, the paper does, or the little thing does say, you know, you fill it out and then they'll send you shipping information. Have any of y'all gotten a insert yet from HiFix? And if so, how long is it taking to get? Because I see that there are some people on Wingbits that have gotten the insert already. I don't know, I saw it somewhere. But yeah, some people have gotten their insert already. Oh. Is anybody in Irwin still? Y'all see me complain about Irwin, y'all might just skip it. Is there anybody in this chat right now that's in Irwin? When's the last time you tried to pull from your dashboard just to your wallet? Mine fails every single time. And not only that, but my dashboard then says 0 after, but I have not had nothing hit my wallet since June. I'm PM'd them several times. They told me that's so weird, and none of it showed up. When you look at the token data, it says 0. But yet you still got people. I mean, you can see how often they talk in here. This guy talked 2 days ago, and then you had these 3 days ago. So you see how active their Discord is. I don't know what's going on. I like the project. I thought it was a cool project. The whole cat in the box, and you know, if people didn't all sell or take out, the cat would live. And you know, this seems like a grumpy comment right here. Even though you'll know I can't buy a Lambo because I can't fit in it. It'll be either big F-250 or GMC Denali 2500 diesel, or you know, a fishing boat or something like center console, bay boat, you know, or a whole bunch of acres in the middle of nowhere because I don't like neighbors. That's my newest thing is I want big acreage for, like, you know, down here we call it a compound. Sometimes I don't like the way that word sounds because, you know, in the past compounds were kind of weird, but they call it a compound. Basically, it's a family compound. You get a whole big old stretch of land, and the family house will be here with the pool. You know, one day, hopefully 10, 15 years from now, I'll be a grandparent. The pool, grandkids can come swim, but then there's a whole bunch of woods in the middle. And then way on this other end of the property is a house for my son. And way on this other end of the property is a house for my daughter and her husband. But there's all this woods in between where you can go hunting and stuff like that. That is kind of my goal now with crypto. I think the whole fishing boat thing, I got enough friends with fishing boats. And what's funny is you can go and buy all that land in the next parish over from me for $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000. Or if you go a little more North Louisiana, you can buy that same big old stretch of land for $60,000. But I don't know what's going on with Irwin. I know I got way off the deep end on that one. I'm sorry. I will tell y'all though, since the news yesterday, I sold at least 2 WB200s on the LMD floor. Told y'all this positive news is going to bring more people in. People who know it's going to be legitimized. Are you going to get into 4D Sky? I was the 4-1 in Texas right now. See, in 619, I'm going through messages, guys. I know I'm going backwards on y'all. 619, that's kind of how my feeling is with helium. I've told you the story. I'm not going to rehash it all now. I did a video strictly on it. But despite how I feel about helium now, I will never really hate it because Hurricane Ida 2021, my family had to get up and leave immediately, go to North Louisiana, and then eventually to Texas to stay for a week in a hotel. On my salary at that time in public safety, my wife's a teacher, we don't have emergency budget or account, whatever you want to call it, that my family can just leave. Think about your family leaving for a week at a hotel. And my wife is not staying at some one-star motel. My wife is somebody who wears slippers in the bathtub because she don't know else has been standing in it or doing something in that bathtub. So I'm not saying she has to be at a 5-star either. She ain't staying at the Ritz-Carlton, but you know, Holiday Inn Express or Hilton's or something like that. But when you got to stay somewhere for a week, plus feed your children for a week, like with no, some people going, hey, we're going on vacation in 2 months. We got to start saving a little bit of money here to have a vacation budget. No, you got like, hey, there's a hurricane in the Gulf. Oh, hell. In 2 days, we're evacuating. That's how much heads up time you got. If it wasn't for helium, guys, my family would have been in the tent or something. Helium did that for me. I was also able to go buy 15, 20, 25 more stations with helium also. Again, strictly from my helium. I would take helium, sell it, and then use that to buy more helium. So, and I still got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of helium now, spread out in 3 different wallets if I can find them. So how you feel about Hive Mapper is kind of like how I feel about helium. That's why I also say it did kind of work out for me in the beginning. I was still making very good income. Sense caps came out. You could buy 5 at a time. I bought 5. Rewards were still good in the beginning. I was making some pretty damn good rewards with that. Hopefully with Wingbits, like I said, if it doesn't pay me no good to go put another station down here, I've been trying to find more people to spread these stations out across the United States. I've been in email. I know Di Vaselino's not here, but I've been in email conversation back and forth with somebody in Chugwater. I don't know how that's going, but he's a fellow ham operator. I kind of gave my background, gave him my QRZ page. If any of y'all know what that is, QRZ.com's got a thing where you can put your whole ham credentials and background and stuff like that. So he knows I'm legit. Told him straight up, I got a flight, capturing project that pays crypto, and I'm willing to pay you a percentage, and I'm paying for all the equipment. You just basically need to plug it in and give it internet. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Can't promise him any kind of income because we have no idea what this is going to make. But my point is, I got to start spreading out my stations in where 619 keeps saying he needs bigger hexes. I need bigger hexes for my own self because I'm killing myself. I mean, this is all my stations. I don't need all these stations on top of each other. What I will say is that, some of these stations aren't at the top best locations, So if I had to move 1 or 2, I could. I kind of want to. I need to move 1 or 2 of these that are all on top of each other because I'm just killing myself, Again, if I can put one right around here and bridge that gap, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe next week. My WB 200 came down because the guy who only gets a fishing camp for the fishing season, which is one of these, my WB 200, is now in my closet. Luckily, I still got this other one. Hitting Florida with this one. But nothing's as bad as this. Toy 619, you owe me lunch. Because my buddy who lives in Glendale sent me a text and said, man, look what I got into. And I don't know why he did not put 2 and 2 together. But he joined FlightAware. And he's a ham also. And I'm like, what? WTF? At least I think it's FlightAware. Oh, ADSB Exchange is what he joined. So he said, man, look at all these planes I'm getting in California. I'm like, you about a mother stripper, dude. So he's like, oh yeah, you know, I forgot you're doing it. Okay, send me his thing and I'll hook it up for you. And I'm like, 619 would come drive to Louisiana and put his foot up my rear end if I added another station, right? I've been in this house twice. I can't remember exactly. It's somewhere in, no, it's back up here because the mountain was right next to it. So it'd be somewhere up in here. 619 would flip out. If Grumpy had a station right here, I wouldn't do that to you. Y'all tell me, man. I don't know. You know, my original goal was to get one up here and then get one over here so I can have all 4 corners, but there's really no reason to even put one in this area. Reaching out to some hams somewhere up in here. But this is all covered, man. Like, what am I going to put a station up in here for? To brag on a video for a little while that I got stations up in here, then what? Then what? Somebody's got a station up in here. I'm trying to think, is that Sidewinder? Is he on tonight? Deal Cracker? Somebody, because I helped him with it at one time. Pennsylvania, I think. Cumberland, somewhere up in there? I don't know. Tell you what, though, it's getting full. It ain't getting this full yet. And I know during the AMA, they even talked about certain countries around here. I don't remember exactly what it was. I'm going to have to listen to the AMA again. But there were certain countries that they were trying to hit here. So what I did is, out of my own pocket, if y'all remember in the video I did about the AMA last week, I mentioned that they're seriously trying to push more stations here. We didn't know at the time, but I'm sure this has something to do with the Korean Air thing. But they're trying to do Middle East, and they're trying to do the Korean area, whatever you want to call this. So I actually paid out of my own pocket to push my YouTube video with subtitles. And I had to go and Google what subtitles I needed linked to my video for these areas to try to push my video. Now, my video got a couple of views from it. I didn't see nobody buy I don't even know where you buy this helium deep floor or high fix ship here. I don't know where they would get a station from, but I can tell you nobody used my code. But it's been 80 years. Oh my goodness, 40 years since I moved out of New Orleans East. New Orleans East is predominantly Vietnamese, not white, not black, not Mexican. They even got street signs now in Vietnamese, the stores in Vietnamese. I had kids back in the day try to teach me a little bit of Vietnamese. I couldn't tell you one word of it nowadays. But that's where I was. If y'all saw my video Saturday, my driving video, that was that area. Y'all saw how great it was. I'm gonna tell you, Vietnamese don't play. They don't call the New Orleans Police Department for crime. You don't see stray animals. You don't see people hanging around outside. You don't see crime because they handle that stuff They handle it. But they don't like outsiders either. I grew up in it. I know, it's just fact. But yeah, I paid out of my own pocket to try to push the video this way. Hopefully, it brings a little bit of attention, helps the project. You know, that's me. Dude's a fool. 619 said, I think they use Tebow. I'd love to see what a Tebow WB200 looks like. 619 said, might be a fire in Glendale. Don't do that to my boy. He's not. He put his thing together, his whole ADSB exchange with his pie, and he was all proud of it. He don't know, man. You know, he don't know nothing about crypto. He knows I was trying to put a helium device back early in the days. There was somebody on that hill right behind him that was making stupid, disgusting money every day because it overlooks all of Los Angeles and that whole area. And in the beginning of helium, I was willing to give that dude $1,000 a month because that's what the percentage would have been. I promised him a percentage, and the percentage was like $1,000 a month, and the dude still turned it down. So I'm not getting involved. I don't get involved in it. And then when he got an ADSB exchange, he's like, man, I thought you wanted me to put a Helium IoT 915 megahertz device. I'm like, bro, that was 3 years ago. All right, so what else we got? Anything else with projects going on? Silencio. Is anybody excited about Silencio being the new ears for robots or something? Does anybody want to come live real quick and come tell everybody what the hell that's about? You know, we are up 157% in the month. I'll give kudos what kudos are due. 23% in the week, down 2% for the day. I don't think Silencio has the money to manipulate like Demo does. You know, I don't know. I don't know where this is coming from. He's still down 64% for the year. But for all-time high, how does that work? Because they only been live for a year. So how is a year all-time's 14%, but this is 64%? I think that's a screw up. But anyway, Machine X. Anybody? Gate, MXC. Let me tell you something. Y'all can say what y'all want. Y'all can argue with me all want. Silencio, which is the Dollar General of DEPIN, at the dollar, being sold at the Dollar General of CEXs. Y'all know I love some Dollar General. 158,000 volume. I still say, you know, I understand. Listen, I don't want Wingbits to give the bank away, but I still say Rover's up to a penny and a half. I need my truck back. My truck is in the shop with this stupid roof leak, and I told him I have to have it back today because I left my Rover in the damn truck while it's at the service. The service place told me it would be 4 or 5 days to get my roof leak fixed. That was 3 weeks ago. I need my Rover back. I need to get the damn thing back online. I'm going on to a meeting tomorrow, which is an hour and a half drive away, hour and a half drive back. Normally I'd have Rover running for that, and I'm going to lose out on all that Rover, and it pisses me off. But up 26%. You know, we were down at one point to 0.008. Everybody was panicking. MEXC has 357,000. When I was on Radium, see what Radium's doing. Again, I know some of y'all want to argue with me. And again, I don't want Wingbits to give the bank away. But again, getting on a CEX makes it more available. Yes, is it easy to sell? Absolutely. But I guarantee this ain't all sales. It's sad. It's like, I hate to laugh, but it's sad. Down 96%. This is what happens when you go TGE and you're not ready for it. Sword Chain, we've been asking over and over in the Discord about where are rewards for the camera. People have been asking about where are the rewards for staking with Cosmos. They don't even want to answer that no more. It's just they're in a sad state. They wanted everybody to join their was it Aster or whatever it was, and you see where, you know, I wouldn't. Again, mine are staked. It has a 3-month release period, and I'm probably releasing for the first of the year to get to sell. That's my game plan. So they're saying that yesterday was an Aster beta airdrop. I know some of y'all messed with Aster because y'all said y'all were going to. I'm not investing another penny in this project. I bought the little Sword Chain Mini. I pushed it very hard to y'all. This was originally on Cosmos or whatever. I'm a huge Cosmos fan. And I don't know what happened to it. See? Nobody, you tell me there hasn't been an admin. Today is Tuesday. There hasn't been an admin. Nobody can answer the questions on why nobody's getting rewards for their, even though on Twitter they're advertising that everybody's getting rewards for the new camera thing or whatever they call it, Sword Chain dashboard dash cam, and it says you're getting all this Sword Chain for all these dash cam photos and all this miles, but it ain't getting rewarded anywhere to you. So you ask a question nobody can answer. People are asking questions about the status of the airdrop for Cosmos stakers. Nope. I guess all the look. Any update on dash cam earning? It's sad, man. I don't know. I don't know if they just don't have paying customers. If they did the camera thing with a hope and a prayer, hoping that people, you know, join it. I don't know. Y'all tell me. There are dead abandoned coins higher than that. Y'all know one of my mottos. One of my mottos is even shit coins go up in a hard bull market, in a hard alt season. My hope is that this is one of those shit tokens that are dead that goes up. Tokens that don't even have projects assigned to them anymore go up during a hard alt season. Come on, Sword Chain, just do something. Kind of like the little guy with the stick, just do something. But I really think, you know, I really think we're taking the L on that one. For those who are in it, I say the L. I know I have more than $80 worth right now of that. So $80 is what I paid for that Sword Chain Mini. So is it really an L? Everything else has been free other than that one device. So it's not really a complete L, but it's still kind of an L. You know, we're doing very well with Chirp. Other than I don't like the way that they sell devices. I'm really starting. I'm not trying to cause, you know, FUD, but the longer they keep saying we're not trying to flood the market with our devices, why wouldn't you? You're trying to create an IoT device that's going to be an IoT network around the world. Why would you be concerned with flooding? You worry about flooding your devices around the world when you get past 100,000. I don't even know how many they got right now, but you're not close. But when you're concentrating more of us going scam people's Wi-Fi and stuff, and then you're despite what some people want to say, I'll argue that the Chirp, KAGE, Wings of Chronos, Beacon thing is a catastrophe. Because maybe just the only people complaining are people like me who would have had to go and swim with the alligators to go get after trying to track it down for 3 hours. If y'all hadn't seen that Saturday video, that was a catastrophe. There's a lot of people complaining about that. And then what's Chirp say? Oh, we're going to refresh those by people who are in that area capturing them. Well, nobody's going to capture the one in New Orleans, so you're not going to replace it? You know, is this really what this project is about? Is us doing Chirp KAGE? So Chirp, while it is my #1 project as far as rewards, if majority of y'all can't get the Chirp Blackbird, is it worth even covering it and saying I'm making $3.49? Because I don't even know how often they're trying to release those, but they only release them as an NFT. So you know a scalper's buying it immediately, then turning right around and selling it. And that's horrible. And that needs to stop. We know GeoNet's going to be good. Junk, the problem with junk is if you decide to sell junk, you're out. Because if you sell junk, if you sell junk out of your wallet, you have to burn 4 times what you sold. And who has that? I don't know who voted for that, but it is what it is. So y'all want to complain about entropy and their rules about the Jeter the leader. With junk, if you sell anything, you quit getting rewards until you put your wallet back right. Anacoy, hit and miss. Some of y'all, I have it making $1.11 a day. Some of y'all act like it's the end of the world that Anacoy is failing. Unless I'm not making 31 owner a day and I'm counting wrong and it's not correct. But, it wasn't that bad. Entropy, we don't know what the end game is going to be with entropy. We know rewards have really gone down. Rover, I think Rover's going to be good. NATIX, I told y'all, this one snuck up on me. I did not realize what my total NATIX was. And I got almost $1,000 worth of NATIX off of a free project. Now, I've been running it since testnet days. But I got close to $1,000, I think, last I looked. And that's if the token price hasn't gone up. I don't know what. But again, NATIX was a completely free project. And, you have to have a couple of people under you to make anything. It's like an MLM, I think. But, down 17%. But Demo, we'll make a little bit money off Demo. I've told y'all last night, if y'all didn't watch my project video last night, EarnApp is still making money. But it goes to show you how much we were making before. We all were about to jump off the building because we thought how bad our EarnApp dropped. But with my devices, I'm still making like $7 in 24 hours. But I have a bunch of devices on it. Where Honeygain, you're only making $2 in 24 hours. And then Pawn, you're making 20 cents per thing. And I'm trying to tell people, if you have a Wingbits device, Linux, that is a DIY Wingbits, you got to run EarnApp. You're killing yourself if you're not. Not financial advice, but what you got to lose? You cash it out, it goes straight to your PayPal. You don't have to worry about exchanging tokens or anything like that. You're doing well. WeatherXM, somebody needs to tell me what the hell's going on with WeatherXM. 10 cents a day? Is that like, I didn't fudge that. No, that's helium. I'm sorry. 21 cents a day. 21 cents a day. Fun fact, fun story. My brand new WeatherXM station that I got in from WeatherXM about 3-4 weeks ago to replace my broken one is now giving me an error saying that I have measurements out of whack or something crazy like that. It was storming, raining at my office today. It showed 0 rain, which is another fun fact, is the last station that I had, which was the M3 or M5 or whatever it was called. Also, when it was storming in the middle of a hurricane, said 0 rain. However, the one I have here, which is the Wi-Fi, I think it's the D1 or something like that. This one did show that it was raining. So I'm trying to see what my rewards were. 1.86. So 1.86 Weather XM. This is a 0.9, just to let y'all know. I don't know, nobody think this is 97 cents. 0.9. Sad, man. Down 77%. It was at 43 cents at one time. Are you joking? I'm sorry. It started off at $1.42. This is the project I think I remember them arguing that sometime like about 3 or 4 weeks, it was arguing with CoinMarketCap that their token was higher than what CoinMarketCap was giving them credit for. Yeah, I bet y'all were arguing. All I know is I told y'all I've been trying to get into Nubula, and I finally got a Nubula device coming. I got a shipping notification today. So I am in Nubula. They also want me to get into the Nubula nudes. I know how some of y'all feel about nudes. On the positive side, you don't have to worry about any kind of buying any kind of equipment. If you already have something. So just brace yourselves. Y'all will see a video coming about me getting a Nubula and discussing the nodes. The node drop is in 9 days. I will still be the first one to admit and say this. It's hard for me to I don't really want to suggest anything because this is not financial advice. We don't know the future of any of these projects, but it's hard for me to suggest this thing when we have no earthly idea on what it's going to cost. Is Nubula even mainnet yet? I know some people have Nubula devices, but when you look, this says pre-order. 3 free months of Mocha and DEPIN tracker. Somebody said I need to remind y'all of that because one of y'all said, man, they've been using it also. It's a good way of tracking. Depending on what kind of device you buy, you sometimes get 3 months, sometimes you get longer. I don't know how long I got on mine, but I do, and it's pretty cool. It tells you what all your DEPIN projects, what you're making, and daily, and that kind of stuff like that. But I am pretty. Nubula, something I changed my mind on 2 or 3 times. I wish I would just bit the bullet in the beginning, quit second guessing myself, and I wish I would have jumped into Nubula. So I do finally have a Nubula device coming. I don't think this is even tied to this. One thing I was told to tell y'all, make sure I tell y'all is, with Helium Deploy, these things ship out in 1 to 2 days. I don't know what I'm told is that this is way faster than what HiFix is right now. I can tell you whenever I email them about something, I get a response back same day most of the time. If not by next day. But you can get one of these. This is 3 free months also of the Mocha and DEPIN tracker. But again, if you order one of these today, you would get it by October 1st, at least in the United States. And that's what, a week away? Almost a week in a day. Yeah, it'd be next Wednesday. So, that's a cool deal. And also, for the few people who still want to get into Wingbits MGW310 so they can get GeoNet along with Wingbits. You also get a Nubler Marco for free. So I have a link below to get to heliumdeploy.com, just a website. I even get helped out a little bit just from y'all using that link to go into Helium Deploy. So if y'all want to help me out, in the description below, there is a link for that, and I appreciate it. But I'm pretty hyped up to get y'all know I'm a weather geek. My biggest question right now is where the hell am I going to install that? Because I do need it, you know, somewhere where I'm guessing I have Wi-Fi at. I would love to go put this thing at my hunting lease so I could know what the weather is when it's raining, snowing, freezing cold. The problem is there's no weather and there's no Wi-Fi, of course, in the middle of nowhere. I could do a remote station like 619 does, but again, I don't want to invest all that when I have no idea what the reward's going to be. So, you know, 619 said he has to go fix his weather XM station again. I can tell you, if mine would have broke, it would have stayed broke. I wasn't getting another one. And the fact and the amount of hurdles that they made me go through just to get that thing swapped out. And I'm sure I told you this, I'm sorry, I have to rehash it, but for the people who might have never heard it, but WeatherXM had me take videos of me taking in a single continuous video. You had to sit there and take a video of you taking brand new AA batteries, ripping them out of a brand new package and putting them into the device and then showing the orientation, because people are too stupid to put them in the positive and negative way and still complaining it didn't work. Then I had to go and show a video of me putting it in a dark location. Well, if it's dark, how am I giving y'all a video of that? For a day or two with no batteries in it to kill the solar side of it. And then I had to go do this other thing and show a video. I had to send them like 3 or 4 videos of me doing all these things. And now here I am having problems with the new one they sent me. So, and then what you're getting in rewards. So, 4D Sky. Man, are you trying to get me in trouble? So is 4D Sky Wingbits competition? Is that what 4D Sky is trying to get a piece of that pie? Is that what 4D Sky is? You're trying to get me kicked out the Wingbits Club, aren't you? Purchase a sensor, $700. Okay, well, you know what I think about it. What's next? They will earn about 950 points, another 100 points or so, doing the quick sharing on the Explorer, about 300 or so for me a day. And those just a multiplier. Doesn't have keys. You should be able to reset them right. Jay Styles, I looked into that. Again, I'm not saying that this is, you know, 100% accurate, but I am not seeing anyone complain about that anymore. Now, let's say that, and if I go look at the Discord, it could be going on right now. But there was supposed to be a firmware update that came out with the quality control issues where people had to go take it apart and hit the reset button. Where then Nubler did a video that said, please don't take it apart and hit the reset button. We're going to send a firmware update out. I have not seen anything further since then. Maybe Milkman can tell you, but I have not seen anything about that at all. And that might be something that when I get one in my hand, I do an unboxing and a setup and discuss it and talk about it. Maybe it's something I need to hit on my video to see kind of what what people are saying about it. I'm trying to find it on announcement. I know I asked this before, but Milkman can answer it. is Nubla on VE chain? Is it on Vet? Because y'all know I'm a huge fan of Vet. I have I DCA into Vet about every paycheck when I do my normal DCA of about 4 or 5 tokens. Vet is something I get almost every time because I think it's got the potential, not financial advice, but I think it's got the potential of 10x from here, just from going back to full-time price, to all-time high. VThor, which is the gas for Vet, has the potential for higher than 10x compared to what all-time high was. I DCA probably into both of those almost every paycheck at the price it's at now. I know I get all excited every time I see UFC, or now WWE even has in their ring V-Chain logos all over it, so it's more exposure. But I'm just bringing that up because I'm looking into the Nubla Discord and I'm seeing VE Chain ambassadors and I really need to do I need to take my time to do a deep dive into this. Because I was always told they had some very big names in the weather community that was involved in this behind the scenes and stuff. And I know some of them Wingbits. I mean, I've met some of them at hurricane conferences and some weather things I've been involved in. And I'm very curious to see who it is, what they're involved in, blah, 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 blah. Hey, at least the Discord is very active compared to some of these other projects we just looked at. Look at Milkman on there. I know that dude. I'm hyped up that this is on Vet. Anthony says these guy tracks drones. Hey, if you got an ICP early, we don't. I try not to talk. I used to talk more about different cryptos and stuff, but I found that majority of my audience is about DEPIN and about projects. And when I did do videos about what tokens I liked and what tokens are down that it might be time to get, those videos didn't get much traction. So ICP was one that I wish I would have got kind of into in the beginning. But I know last bull run, I've told you all this before, I was in so many different tokens. Every time somebody did a video about some new layer 01 token or something like that, that I was jumping into. And the problem was I really didn't have a lot of profit to take because it was so spread out, where I'm trying to just keep a couple of certain tokens and just keep DCAing into those and into those and into those. Now I know it'll probably be the tokens I'm not buying that take off, and these don't take off. I know Alex calls them boomer tokens, but listen to some people. They think Vet's going to take off, Cardano's going to take off, and some of these other ones. So, yeah. What else? So Anthony, I know this is very personal, brother, and I hate to ask you this question. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Did you spend $700 for a D-Sky, 4D Sky station? And have you got that station in? 619, I'm old school, and I think about that every time I see ICP. But $700 for a brand new project, I'm guessing it's not on mainnet yet. It looks very new. Hey man, it's you money, and you might do very, very, very well on it, and the rest of us will miss out. That's my normal life story on most of my crypto projects. So are they even close to a TGE or anything? So it's an Ethereum token also. Mm, 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 mm. And is it only doing drone detection? X1, I don't know how big their hex sizes. Dude, get out. I don't know. Is there even hex sizes, or can you put them? Can you put these stations anywhere? Dude, they need Los Angeles needs bigger hexes already. Oh, y'all killing me. I don't even need to go drink bourbon after this one. Look, bro. Chug water's wide open. It's doing flights that picks up drones. Tell them they want to send me one for free. I'll test it out for them. Tell them I'll put it on my building on top of Baton Rouge. So I'm already paying for rent and ISP and internet connection up there. I can go stick whatever I want up there. I thought Wingbits was talking about it at one point, possibly doing something wrong. Let me tell you something. I've told y'all this before. A lot of y'all might have missed it. Well, I don't know. I say the same things over and over in videos. I have been in a decent amount of training. I ain't gonna say a lot. Decent amount of training, seminars, programs about drone detection on the public safety and emergency response side. Y'all know I was involved for the Super Bowl in New Orleans. I was involved in the drone team for that. Mardi Gras on the drone detection team that, and you had some very big players, and I think any company that's coming in nowadays with drone detection has no idea of what's stacked against them. Some 3-letter agencies. I will say though, with some of the big players for the Super Bowl, you had 3 or 4 different big player drone detection companies there. And it was odd to sit there and watch how when this drone popped up, this company over here detected it first in 10, 15 seconds, this company, then 5 or 10 seconds later, this company, then 5 or 10 seconds, this company. But then when a drone popped up 10 minutes later, you had this company over here that detected it first, then this company, then this company, then this company. And then when a drone detected later, then this company detected it first. There was no rhyme or reason. You couldn't sit there and say one is better than the other. But I'm going to tell you this. We priced it because we have some in my area along the river, a lot of petroleum factories. At one point, we were the largest gasoline refinery in my parish in the country. Beaumont just expanded their Marathon refinery and passed us up by a little bit. So we're the second biggest. So we look for drone and that kind of stuff. The price they wanted for drone detection is stupid. That's how much money is involved in it. Absolutely stupid. But I'm gonna tell you, it works though. It works. Little Bobby, who we had this call, but little Bobby, who's taken in the neighborhood, who's taken his drone and go and check. We call it, to try to be professional. Yeah, right. Be professional. Doing chlorine checks of his neighbor's pool with the wife that wears the string bikini that lives next door, or 2 houses down, or the teenage daughter that little Bobby might have a crush on, and bringing their stuff over there. When little Bobby, as soon as he gets that drone up, it's like sirens are going off. Drone detect, drone detect, drone detect. This is where the person is who's flying it. This is where the drone is, and that's how it was. It's some sophisticated stuff. And the newer companies, even if they try to change what their stock frequency is and stuff like that, don't matter. Don't matter. Especially if you get the ones that have dual, like several different sensors in your area and they could triangulate. It don't matter what frequency you use them. Oh, 619, I thought the same thing. I guess I'm gonna have to go and bother Axie again for inside scoop on. Well, it's not really inside scoop, because if it's inside scoop, he could tell me. I'm like, hey man, between you and me, can you just tell me this, 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 and this? And he's like, nope, or no comment, or nothing. In the beginning, last year, every now and then I could squeeze a little juice out of him, a little juice out the turnip every now and then. Hey man, you want an inside for your video, for your thing tonight? Here's an inside scoop just for Grumpy, because I helped him out so much with videos and stuff. They're too big for me now, brother. They don't tell me nothing. Nothing. You know, me and him had this conversation about CEXs and stuff, and he'll explain to me kind of like CEX just want too much money, but that's nothing inside, because that's the same thing Robin said. He was just kind of clarifying when he sees me ask a question on a video, he will respond in PM and say, hey, I saw you ask this question, and you know, why is Wingbits doing this or not doing this? This is why. And that kind of stuff like that, which is the same thing that if I would have asked in the regular Discord, he would have answered me. So he's a cool dude. We're more like that he wants to admit. That's all I'm gonna tell you. He just has to keep it. He just can't be as grumpy or as a-hole because he has to wear the Wingbits hat. I don't. You know. Ross and Jake discussed how to use radar to track spy planes and drones over the U.S. I loaded up the app out of curiosity, very similar to Wingbits Find Aware. Because some drones are you know, if they're transmitting ADS-B, they're gonna be able to be detected. Yeah, that's what 619 said. If the drone has ADS-B, Wingbits will track it. If the drone has RTKA Geo, that would help it. You know, I know I'm gonna lose half my subscribers when I say this. I still don't know how GeoNet works, because GeoNet doesn't transmit. So we have farmers down here. Those farmers used, whether it's RTK or whatever they use, they have GPS antennas that look identical to what GeoNets look like, or what one of the other ones, Onacore, look like. But either way, these satellite looking antennas, and that's how they keep those rows perfectly straight. Or when they're doing leveling, they're using all that stuff like that. But the GeoNet doesn't transmit. It's just receiving. So if somebody is subscribed to, say, GeoNet service, how are they getting the centimeter or less accuracy? Because they're not picking up from your station. Maybe that's something I never read in the white paper. Maybe I'm thinking too hard about it. It transmits back through Wi-Fi. But my point is, it's still not transmitting back to that tractor that is making sure its accuracy stays the same. So is the tractor picking up I'm assuming they're subscribing to the RTK service from GeoNet, and they're getting that through Wi-Fi or something like that, and they have a receiver on board that's picking up satellite on top of the Wi-Fi or something. Oh, look, I got a very good friend who runs sugarcane, and he's always said, you know, you need to come see the stuff I got in some of my combines now for sugarcane. I'm like, no, I don't. Because I'll geek out, and then I'll think I can drive one of these big old tractors that's the size of my house and then go flip it over or crush it or do something. But, I mean, you see these kids driving in these YouTube videos and stuff with these kids with corn combines and stuff like that. But sugarcane's kind of the same thing, the way they're doing them now. And it cuts the sugarcane, cuts it into pieces. They got tractor following it on the side of it. It shoots out the actual cores of the sugarcane, all the leaves and everything else go to the other side, and you just go down. And then right north of me, where I used to have a hunt lease, was all cotton fields and stuff, and there's nobody picking cotton anymore. It's all done by the machine now and stuff like that. It's crazy. The tractor's hooked up to the internet, sending a signal through cell signal. All right. It corrects the satellite positioning. Okay. Hey, listen, I know Geo. That's why I'm so high on GeoNet. Despite what the rewards are, and I know I say this over again like a broken record. I apologize, but a project can be successful and the rewards are shit. And I hate to use that word, but I don't know what other word to use. Helium to a point. There's people using the Helium network. Despite what we want to say, there's people using the Helium network. It's a success on the network side. The rewards are crap. GeoNet's about to be in that same thing. Y'all can argue with me all y'all want, but y'all know how I feel about the yearly halving. In not even 9 months, 8 months and 7 days, we're going down to, unless there's a huge token increase, you're going down to about $1 a day in GeoNet. The year after that, 50 cents. Who's going to go buy a $700 device making 50 cents a day or $1 a day? You have to really like that tech. But my point about that is I'll still argue for it because it's a legit project. Think about it. When you hear about super hexes coming up, by the time I get to it, I can't even stake anything because it's already been staked up already. That's a hot project. The rewards are going to suck. I don't know what they're making from staking hexes or anything like that, but you cannot deny that GeoNet is a hot working project. So all these farmers down here, they're using something like it. I'm not saying they're using GeoNet. This is all farmland. This is like majority of farmland and swamp. A lot of this up here, farmland and swamp. Go up here to Mississippi and stuff, farmland, woods, farmland, woods. You know, um, 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 Kyle, please hold. We might have to fill this hex. I got a buddy who has a hunt lease in Meridian. I have no idea where it's in Meridian, but he tells me all the time how he's going to Meridian this weekend. So we're going to see if his hunt lease is within this hex. Might have to offset the rewards a little bit because I'm about to pay for a cellular card. Might have to go set up one of 619s with a battery. Anyway, back to our regular scheduled program. Again, this is also why, as far as I know, there are potential customers in this area who want service, right? And that's why they do these super hexes. Where we at? Little Rock. See if there's a super hex right here. I'd be all over it too. Chugwater's open for GeoNet. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna have to start working on some negotiations. Oh, I'm averaging about 5.22 a day on Geo. Can't wait for the next halving. Yep, I bet you can't wait. I learned on my very first live, you don't ever type in your Chrome Explorer. If you have suggested websites turned on, you never do that while you're on a live. You switch pages. And then you go. You might be stepping on Axie. Depending on what kind of range we get. My hunting lease is right here. But again, I'd have to put a battery. It's a lot of trees and that kind of stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see how this works out. But then, like I said, you got 127 days left. So that's what? 4 months of extra rewards. DEPIN to compete with Starlink. You'll never get somebody to compete with Starlink. Not with the amount of satellites up there. It just ain't gonna happen. We used to use satellite phones for emergency response at work, and satellite internet, which was a crawl. You couldn't do anything decent on it. You couldn't do any kind of video on it because of the lag and the ping rates and stuff like that. And somehow Starlink, listen, people can hate the man all they want. They can think he's evil. They can think whatever they want. But the dude's smart as hell. You have people playing Call of Duty and games on satellite connections, which 3, 4, 5 years ago plus was unheard of. Normally with satellite internet out here in these rural areas, people could not do satellite internet because the ping times and the lag was so bad on it, because you had to go so far up and that signal had to come back down, and you're sitting there looking at somebody on Call of Duty about to shoot them, but really on the other guy's screen that's closest to the server, he's shooting you and dead already. So the man has solved that. We have for hurricanes and stuff, we have deployed around the state already Starlinks, because we know once the hurricane's passed, our fiber's all gone, because all of it's on the ground, internet's gone, cellular's gone. You can take a Starlink, throw it on top of the roof, take the Ethernet cord, plug it into your server, and your whole area is back up and running. Your whole business. I can't see anybody ever competing that, but who knows? Who knows? 619 says I put it right. I would put it right by the airport. The problem is, let me tell you, you go and put one of these stations out there somewhere where nobody knows anything about it, you will come back to it gone. They will hook a truck up to it and yank it out and not think twice about it, and then try to go and bring it to the recycling shop and see what they can sell the metal for, so they can sell it, or at the pawn shop, and they won't think twice about it. This is why I need them to just add a couple more IoT stations at Wingbits. I mean DIY stations. Just give me just a couple of more. Make a couple of you know more geosonars. I could fill this whole gap for Wingbits, and stuff like that. Uh, 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 Oh, looks like I'll be negotiating install rights for Meridian tomorrow. And you wonder why I can't get anything accomplished. 450. This looks promising. So there's the airport. This is Highway 450. I know, guys. I know y'all don't want to sit here and watch me do all this stuff, but road 450. That's I-20. 45. All right, I'm gonna dig into all this stuff. I ain't gonna do this while we're on live. I'm losing people. So anyway, throw some helium mobile on with those Starlinks for emergencies. The thing about helium mobile is, did helium mobile ever sign a agreement with AT&T? Because almost everybody who's at my work, we're all on FirstNet, including the fire departments, sheriff's office, EOCs, anybody that comes in for emergencies for hurricanes, National Guard, emergency managers, people from the outside, we're all on FirstNet. Because FirstNet will have a SatCo, big satellite truck in our driveway before the hurricane's even finished. They took care of us both times, which is an arm of AT&T. So, hardly anybody's on T-Mobile. Anyway, who farted? He's still on Canadian time, 2 hours late. Then we were talking about you earlier, but you missed it. We're going to have to go back and rewatch the whole live, all 2 hours of it, so you can see where we're talking about you. Starlink Mini and Solar. But what's a Starlink Mini cost? They got cell service out there, so I can go put a used Cradle Point or used MiFi or something on it. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when it comes. So I'm about to wrap it up, man. It's been 2 hours. I have not eaten. Y'all know that. I get home from work, then the gym, and then I come straight on here. I did some little yard work real quick. Like I said, it rained for the first time in 3 weeks, so I had to go throw some stuff out. It's supposed to rain again tomorrow. I know AT&T FirstNet has some satellite stuff going up. because I was given the name of it, and I saw the name of it because there were several people buying the stock, and I saw something about the stock for the satellite company, and I don't remember what the hell it was called, but I know people who got involved in it early. I'm not saying they had inside scoop, but of course they don't tell you until after. ASTS. They're the only satellite company that has license to run terrestrial frequencies. Guy got into it at 20 something, and it's at $60 last we checked. ASTS satellite, but that's supposed to be who AT&T is going to use for some kind of terrestrial. AST Space Mobile. I know we never talk stocks, but don't say the one stock Grumpy gives you. There you go. $8 ago. Look at that. AST Space Rocket stock skyrockets on satellite breakthrough and big name backing. Look at that, boy. Guess I need to start doing on Wednesdays a stock live show. Stocks commercial launches direct device satellite internet network, raising $575 million in convertible notes. It's committed $17 billion, secured $2 billion in debt to enter the same market. Anyway, we're not turning this into a stock. I'm hungry. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's 9 o'clock, almost 9 o'clock my time. We've been doing this for almost 2 hours now. And now I got the dude from Meridian calling me, wanting to know what the hell I'm talking about. But I'm not in the mood to do any negotiations tonight. We'll see. We'll see. Is Kyle even still here? He checked out. All right, Kyle checked out. So whoever else wants to donate me a MGW 310 to do Wingbits and GeoNet in Meridian, Mississippi, while GeoNet still has a super hex there. I can do that to that dude. All right, boys and girls, I appreciate it. Thank y'all for watching. We'll be back Thursday night. Maybe I'll have an update on Chug Water. For me, maybe I'll have an update for, well, if I put a Wingbit station in Meridian, I ain't gonna have one for Chug Water. Or if I put one in Chug Water, I'm not gonna have one from Meridian unless I pull another one out. Decision. This is why I need actually to let me get another DIY station. I wonder if eBay, at one time, people were selling, which was stupid, but people were selling their Wingbits geosigners on eBay. Nope. You look up geosigner, you don't have nothing. No geosigners on eBay. Well, boys and girls, thank y'all. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. I appreciate all the support. I had a good surge in Wingbits. I mean, in subscribers the last 2 or 3 days with all the Wingbits news and stuff like that. I hit 33,000 and passed that up. Now we're on to 34,000. Big goal, just to have a goal is 35,000. Who knows? It could take till Christmas to get to that, but I appreciate everything. Anthony got the Rover Litecoin. Have you got that in yet? Because that thing looks ginormously huge. That's what she said. But I'm going to tell you, my wife is very cooperative with the 6 phones on the dashboard type deal when we go on vacations. And she was even a little uneasy about the Rover that was on top of her car for our family vacation. She would literally take that light cone off the top of her vehicle and hit me over the head with it if I tried to put that on top of her vehicle. I don't think it would fit on my truck because of the way the diesel lights are, and then it has a sunroof. So I don't think it would go in the truck or my son's truck. So, but hey, I'm going to tell you right now, the rewards look great with it, especially with the price they are now. You go drive there. I would take 2 or 3 vacation days of work and just go drive around. That's me, because I have crap load of vacation because I never take off. Or then maybe hunting season. But that would be me. I would take off work and just go drive. You know, there was a small part of me that thought about buying one. If I had to float a little money from somewhere, it just drive for days. Just drive. But then you got to pay for gas and stuff. Then I have to listen to my wife because there's a gigantic thing on top of her car. Oh, there you go, man. Driving's the key. That, like, when I cover that project on Mondays, I tell everybody. Like, it's hard for me to say what you would be making a day for that, because what I drive, I don't even drive the same thing every day. If I got to go tech a repeater at a tower, depending on where that's at, or if, you know, some of these other parishes don't have a grumpy working there. And before they call Motorola, that's going to charge them through the nose to fix a repeater, you know, I'll help them out. If I ain't got nothing going on, I'll go drive to that parish, but sometimes that's an hour and a half away. You know, and then I'm like, no, man, you just got to go see that plug in the wall? That's the power plug. You just take it out and plug it back in and watch this. Woo. Or sometimes it's going to take Motorola to depot a repeater or something, you know, more serious wrong with it. My point is, day to day, tomorrow I got a meeting that's an hour away from my office. So it's hard for me to judge what I'm going to make with Rover and tell y'all what y'all going to make. You know, it's different. It's like a giant motorcycle helmet on your car. Hey, I'm sure when you're driving around, people are going to think you're just working for like Google Earth or whatever it is, Google Maps, and you're just taking images of people's, you know, you might have somebody moon you or something like that so they can be on Google Earth mooning you or something. But I think if you have, you know, if you're single, who cares? If you have a spouse and she's cool with it, and you have the money to float it, they're not cheap, but I think there'd be some dang good rewards with it. Dang good rewards. But hopefully you bought it. Hopefully you bought it from Helium Deployed my code. I know you didn't, because I have not sold any Helium. I mean, I have not sold it. I don't know if Helium Deploy even got them in. I mean, I know there was only very, very few that was sold, but I don't think anybody used my code for that. I don't think. But anyway, guys, I'm getting delirious. I'm getting hungry. Somebody's cooking something in my house. It's very rude of them because I have not eaten either. So again, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for all the support. I'll be in the Discord for a little bit while I'm playing Call of Duty. That's the good thing about having 3 monitors here. I can play Call of Duty while I eat something, and also check Discord out, and I check in, and me and Who Fought It always argue about the weather or something like that. And, you know, we'll hang out. eBay for $2,000. We'll see. We'll see. Let me know how it turned out. I'm very eager. Seriously, keep me up to date on that. I'm curious to see how that goes. Thank y'all for watching. Hit the like button on your way out. Somebody get the light when they're on their way out. Come out of here. See y'all later.